We're going to talk about dominating the tie position. I think this is an aspect of wrestling that if you can get across to your young kids about what they need to do and how to do it, they're definitely going to benefit from it. The most important thing is what happens before you even tie. And I tell my guys at Boston University, all of the kids that I work with at clinics, that you have to be in the best position to attack as well as defend. And anyone that starts out, working with young kids, working at any level, we're talking about good position. Pat talked about it a little bit in his presentation, but you have to be in a position to protect yourself as well as attack, before you start considering the tie position. What I tell my guys is regarding the tie position is that you're looking at two things. You either want to control the arms and remove them, control the arms and remove them, or remove the arms, so we can control them, say with an elbow control tie, pop it off the head and attack, or remove them, drag and attack. What you're doing is getting the arms out of the way so that you can attack his body. I think it's very important that you start with control tie positions. And your young wrestlers are not going to be able to perfect all of them. They may be able to use one or two really well, but they're not going to be able to do all five. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. All of the coaches here have seen these tie positions. I'm going to talk about how to control them and how to defend against them. If you want to control the tie, it's better to be inside than on the outside. There's so much more you can do when you're on the inside position. Once you get there, where you place your head is important. You want to put your head in a position so that you can stop him from taking shots that might be available to him. So you want to keep your head a little bit lower than his, right here for the most part. And I always try, if you're going to defend, you try to keep it to the same side of his lead leg. If he's leading with that leg, my head's going to be here. Then you're blocking out on this side of his body. Now, if you're looking to take a shot, for example, I'm looking to go single on Jeremy's left side, then I want my head on this side. So you got to figure out what you're going to do there. Are you defending or attacking? Head position is important. I think the key is to keep your head a little bit lower than his head. Then you're already in your best position to defend. But as far as the inside control tie, we can do a lot more from here than he can from the outside. There are things that he can do, but we can do a lot more because we're on the inside than he can from the outside. Second position, control tie position, a lot of times wrestlers come out and they tie the head. We like to go right to the elbow, right to the elbow. The mistake that a lot of young kids make is that they go to the elbow and then they go straight to his head. Jeremy goes to my elbow with an elbow control tie. Now, neither one has anything. The key to an elbow control tie is to reach up on either side of his elbow, those two bones that stick out, lock right behind those two bones. The free hand stays in your lap position. So many young wrestlers have a habit of going straight to the head once they go to the elbow. The other thing about an elbow control tie, I feel like it's one of the best control tie positions you're ever going to have, as far as the number of things that you can do once you get to an elbow. You're right here. If you leave this hand in the lap position, you can attack. You're also in a great position to defend. We pull, boom, singles. We got high crotches, boom. We got ducks. A lot of things available once you get on his elbow. we'll get into this a little bit later on, but excellent way to pull it off and attack the leg. Elbow shuck down or past the elbow. So elbow control tie, the opposition goes to the head, boom, right here. Knees flexed, free hand in your lap position, control the elbow. I like to tell my guys to get your head to the same side you're controlling the elbow on as opposed to having your head here. The opposition's in a position to block me out. Okay, if I have his elbow and I have my head on the opposite side of my elbow control tie. So elbow control tie, head to the same side as the elbow, free hand in your lap, knees flexed. A lot of different things you can do once you get to the elbow, but a lot of young kids don't do it. A lot of college kids don't do it. You know, as soon as he goes to my head, I go to his elbow. A lot of times what will happen is you'll have kids that will go here. You really got to yell at them and tell them to keep the free hand in your lap position, okay? And when you attack with that free hand, it's almost like pulling a trigger. You know, when we go to singles, high crotches, boom, okay? That it shoots out from the waist position, pull, boom, and it goes. The other thing that I think it's important to talk about is timing and coordination. Once you have a kid that goes to the elbow. For example, when you control the elbow and you're looking at, say, a single or a high crotch, a lot of wrestlers will go 1, 2, 3, and perhaps 4, dip the knee. 4 different movements. Most of the movements that you do when you attack from an elbow control tie, underhook tie, inside control tie, they should be done on a count of 1. And you think about it and you say, well, that's pretty simple. But if you watch your kids, they do them in parts. And it's critical to pick up as much speed as possible when you're teaching kids how to attack. One thing we don't talk about enough is coordination and timing. Okay, again, for example, if I'm going to go low single inside reach, right, Jeremy, put that leg forward a little bit. I'm going to pull the elbow to clear it. I'm going to step. I'm going to reach, and I'm going to clear the elbow. Okay, or perhaps even dip the knee. But that happens on the count of 1. Okay, a lot of kids will go 1, 2, 3. So I think it's important early on to stand over those kids and make sure they get the coordination right. It's very simple, but it's critical. You know, I get kids in my room at Boston University, and they come in, some are 2, 3-time state champions, perhaps high school All-Americans. The problem is still there. It's very basic, but it's very important, and that allows you to get to the opposition's body and score points. You find that it's probably a little bit more difficult to get young wrestlers to dig an underhook. However, my best wrestlers that I've coached at BU, and a lot of the best wrestlers I've seen are good from the underhook position. You're controlling the inside. There's so much available to you if you know how to get into this position and put your head in the right spot. Okay, a lot of kids shy away from it because they don't want to feel like they're tied in or hooked in. But if you can go in here, take it, put your head to the same side you have the underhook on, block out pretty much every opportunity he has, you're in great shape. And there's so many different ways that you can attack the opposition once you control an underhook. And you have to know when to attack. Sometimes you'll get wrestlers, they'll get in here with an underhook, and the opposition will be really tight in here. Well, I really shouldn't take a shot when he's real tight because I'm not going to go anywhere. what you have to do is make him think about something else and then attack. For example, I pull him, I start reaching for this leg, and this arm starts to lighten up, and perhaps I can go duck, high crotch, or single to the other side. Okay, so underhook, head position. We want to keep him blocked out. If I allow him to get his head to the same side that he has this overhook on, then there's a 5-inch carry available to him. There's a side trip right here, boom. You know, things are going to open up for him. So I need to underhook, keep my head on the same side as the underhook, keep him blocked out. For the most part, you know, keep the hand low, the free hand low, unless you're controlling something or attacking this man, okay? We love to get in that position and go cross knee pick. You know, we do a lot of high attacks once we establish this underhook position. But the knees are flexed, hands in your lap position, and there's lots of ways that I can attack him. I can certainly do a lot more than he can do if I keep my head in a good position. Same side as your underhook. Okay, so we'll talk about a few more things that you can do from the underhook position a little bit later on. But that's one of the control type positions that I think if you work with your kids on, they're going to be able to score a lot of points. Because a lot of times kids at the high school, junior high school level don't know how to defend it. We're going to talk about that as well. Like I said, I'm talking a couple control ties that you can get your kids to use that they're going to benefit from in competition. The other one, which you don't see a whole lot in high school, some kids use it, but I think it's a tremendous way to control and attack the opposition. If he goes to your head, if he's on the inside control tie position, pull it off and go to a Russian. This is a tremendous control tie position. When I look at it, you're controlling the entire side of this man's body. And there's ways that he can defend, but the whole basis of a Russian tie is to attack him as he defends. So we have that going for us. So, and we've worked on some things that we can do, you know, once we get to the side and control this position. We worked on quite a few ways that we can initiate offense. And we're going to talk about those as well. But if he's on the inside position, boom, right here. Now, a lot of times what young kids will do is they'll try to pull him around the Russian. The whole key to a Russian is to move your feet. You run to the side that you have the Russian on. And I think it's important to keep in mind that when I go Russian and I run here and he starts running away from me, I can run forward a lot quicker than he can run backwards. So I think that's a key thing that you want to keep in mind when you control a Russian. The other thing is, once you're on the Russian, wrist control, you can control him down by the bicep, or you can control him high up on the shoulder. Okay, if I'm going to shut him down, boom, then perhaps we go high on the shoulder. I have kids that do this. They go here, they lock over, and we actually work on this. Lock over on your own wrist. We lift right here, boom, and we shuck them down and move behind. But that's just another way that you can attack. Something else that happens, and we do this a lot, we kind of put this little scenario together, whether opposition goes to the head or to the inside position. I go here, I start running this way, he runs around front, boom, right here, and we attack the far knee. Again, if you spend a little quality time with your kids working on that in the room, it'll be there all day long in competition. A lot of wrestlers, I start to go Russian, I run this way, I'm tight on the arm, boom, you step it out front, drive him across this far knee. Okay, again, if he's on the inside, and we work on this because you have to time it and aim at the way that you control the Russian. Boom, right here, get to the side. Get to the side. Move your feet. You're going to do a lot more work trying to pull him like this than you are running this way, okay? If he comes out front, we're looking for that. If he just kind of blocks with his head, we may go here, down that way. Okay, if he keeps it in close to his body, just pull the elbow in close to the body, right here, jerk it here, and attack a single. Pull down on it, he does this, and we attack. So that's another way that you can set it up. Another one is inside control and head tie. You know, if he allows me to get to this position, you're in pretty good shape. And I think a good thing to tell your wrestlers is that anytime an opponent will let you control the inside position, you can attack his head all day long. And this is something else that I've seen over the years. I see it with my kids. I see it with other wrestlers. We don't attack the head enough. And I think, you know, all the coaches out here, you guys know that as well. I'll tell you, it's the best way to get a man tired. It's the best way to pull a man out of position. It is your best setup. And we had a heavyweight this year at BU. He was a little guy, 220 pounds. And his whole game against the big guys was to just pull on the head. And he would start from the very beginning of the match pulling on the head. And I tell you, by the time the third period rolls around, the guys are going like this. They're holding their backs because they get tired and they're not used to it. So anytime you're on the inside, boom, we can pull on the head. We pull on the head, pull on the head, pull on the head. You start doing that, he's going to start to get tired. So from inside control tie, you're on the inside. If we go to the head, we don't want to just go to the head and stay there. Because now Jeremy gets on my elbow and he's starting to feel pretty good about what he has. Okay? We can still pull on the head, but we got to be a little bit careful. He has an elbow, he can slip under this arm and go high crotch. Boom, right there. So the key is to control position and not allow him to get in position with that elbow where he can attack you. Okay? So inside control tie, we pull him. We pull him. Pull him out of position. Try to get him tired. He has to react if you snap him hard enough. He comes up all kinds of shots. Basically, you know, when you attack the head, everything opens up. A weakness is going to show up when you attack the head. And when you work on it, you just got to figure out what that weakness is. But it's critical, you know, that you work with your kids on attacking the head. I would say especially at the junior high and high school level. The opponent will get tired. They will get tired. I think it's important to learn a drag because that's all a part of what happens when you tie someone. I'm on the inside position. We can drag him. Okay? Outside position, we can drag him. Wrist control, we can drag him. He controls my wrist. I can drag him. And this is what we do. I'm going to spend a little time on this. Then we're going to rotate back to defending against various tie positions. We start out from the inside control tie. And if you're going to work with your kids on drags from the inside position, I think it's very important to develop hand speed and power. Okay? And this looks simple, But when you watch kids drag, they pull back, they go here. You don't see them try to clear the arm first. Okay? You don't see them try to clear the arm first. And basically, what we're trying to do is just rotate and get power. Chop, chop, like that, chop, boom. Okay, so that once they get it down, okay, as far as clearing the arm, now you guide it into the other hand. Right here, right there, boom. Double leg tackle, single leg tackle. Various attacks that you can do. And we'll get in this position, and they'll just work on doing 20 on each side, just chop. Just rotate. The problem is when kids raise up and they try to come back down. You lose control, you lose your power. And the more you work on doing it from a short, little twist at the wrist, the more power you're going to develop. Both hands, boom. It's a good way to clear his arms. Rotate. When you rotate, we guide it into the other hand, and we penetrate. The other way that you go drag is from wrist control. Okay, when you're wrestling, guys are going to control the wrist. He's going to control my wrist. I'm going to control his wrist. I may feed him like this, and he'll go reverse grip. You see what he did? That's exactly what's going to happen if you reach out and you do like this. He's going to do a reverse grip. So we work on this a lot because it happens in every single match. Here, boom. We pull it down and we drag. And drag. We pull it down, okay? Right here, boom. It's right there. We can go single, go double leg tackle, fake drag, and attack. So you have a lot of different ways that you can attack him from that reverse grip position. Wrist control, from right here, drag, double leg tackle, drag. We like to go outside step. We, change the way that we penetrate. On a double, you drag it. Head goes to the same side as the trailing leg, double leg tackle. We love to do this because there's no problem. There's very little risk. Drag, outside step. Drag, outside step. When we do that, we put the head in his ribs right here, and then we come up with the leg. But there's no risk whatsoever because you're attacking high. You can go low. But this is very effective. Head in the ribs, we pick the leg up. He's on the inside. Okay, we drag him from here as well. Okay, we drag him from here as well. And basically what we're doing is coming over top. Right here. Chopping it down. And we meet it. Okay, so from here, he's on the inside. This is the one that's very hard to detect. Right here. But again, you work on power, just like your forearm snaps. We work on power. That one works very well. You can go drag double, drag outside single. Okay, a lot of ways that you can get them from the outside, but you clear it and you meet it. Boom. Okay, so that's another way we can attack him. So we can get him from wrist control. We can get him when he controls our wrist, whether it's a reverse grip or he controls it here. We pull it down. We always pull it down. Drop your center of gravity, and we drag. And inside control, right here. You're on the inside, drag. Right here, drag. We work on those almost every single day. And what I do is I tell my guys to move in and make him tie. And what happens is we're in here wrestling, whether I go here, whether I'm on the inside, you go inside, Jeremy. Whether I'm on the outside, I'm still working for a drag. So no matter how he ties, you can drag him. And I think that's the way you look at drags. The other thing that's very important as far as dominating the tie is how we attack the head, in ways that we can attack the head, because that's all a part of it, and that will open things up. If a man's in a good stance position, okay, we can go snap, inside step, we can go snap here, snap, double leg tackle. The thing about attacking the head, if he's in a good position, we can still upset his balance, and we can score on him. You just take a look at this. He's get in your best stance position. If I come out and I club him hard, boom, boom, right here. A lot of times I can push him right over his knee and take him down. But it's something you have to work on. Again, right here, hard, boom. And we run him across that knee. Okay? Another one. A lot of times, you know, he may have his right leg as a lead leg. We pull down hard and we attack the ankle. Same thing. He's in a great position. We can attack him and upset his balance just by attacking the head. Now, as far as other things that you can do by attacking the head, we start out by just working on how to attack the head. This is a problem with young kids, and the problem is coordination. And I'll show you what we're talking about. Kids will snap, the body is totally out of position. You have to position your feet, position everything, so that when you attack, you know, you're going to be able to get in deep and finish your shot. So if I'm going to attack this side of his body right here, now I pop, low single, and attack. Or from here, I pop and I attack. The key to attacking the head is to come about 5 or 6 inches above the head and you pull really hard. You whack his head. A lot of kids just want to reach out and just kind of push his head. The goal is to snap him all the way to the mat. The goal is to get your upper body weight into the snap. When I snap Jeremy, my upper body weight goes into the snap. And that's done by keeping your elbows in close. And boom, 5 or 6 inches above his head, and you really, almost like you're punching his head. No one ever gets called for a potentially dangerous move or illegal punch when they attack the head. The problem with attacking the head is that it's very difficult to drill in the wrestling room. Because Jeremy is not going to let me come out there and go whack, whack, whack. Before you know it, you got to fight in the room. And that's the issue with attacking the head. Guys don't want you hitting them in the head hard. You know, they want to keep that pretty face. But it's important. You know, if you talk to your kids about it, you know, when you get in competition, knock his head off. You know, that's the only way you're going to get him to react. And the other thing is that every time you attack his head, some weakness is going to show up. I think kids can understand that. If I attack Jeremy's head, some kind of weakness is going to show up, whether it be that him popping up and I go to his ankle there, whether I go inside step here, pop his head, double leg tackle. Something is going to show up. And this is what you drill on in the room. You know, you get your guys out there, okay, pop his head, see how he reacts. And then you put the technique together. And a lot of it is timing and coordination. Okay, so again, 5 or 6 inches above the head, pop him hard. When you pop the head, you try to pop him all the way down to the mat. The other thing is, what directions can you snap this guy in? Well, pretty much every direction. We do this. We like to come out and take him like that. Again, you get your upper body weight into it. He can't stop me from turning his body when I do that. If you go back to your room and you try that or have your kids do it, I go here like this, see, boom, like that. A lot of things start to show up. And basically what we do is we pull on the head and we lead with the elbow, all my upper body weight. Now, Jeremy would probably scoot that foot back. But what happens is we do this. And we've got 3 or 4 guys that work it pretty well. We'll go here, and then low single inside reach on that leg. So that's one thing you can do by attacking the head. You got to know that you can take this man's head in any direction. We already talked about taking it straight down, okay? If you snap his head down, you don't want to snap him into the leg. So as I snap him, boom, we take that leg back, okay? So we take him straight down, that leg back. The other thing that you can do is snap him down and snap him in the other direction. You control the arm. Here, snap him down, snap him in the other direction. Inside step, double leg tackle, perhaps a single leg tackle. Right here, boom. Down, inside step, change off. So we can snap him straight down, snap him that way, and snap him that way. The body has to follow his head. And the key is to, pick out 1 or 2 of those techniques. You're gonna find that you're gonna have a few kids that really get it. And have them do 50 to 100 a day. It's pretty simple, but if you have one of your kids just do this, lead with the elbow, and stay in a good position. He's going to learn how to use that in competition. If you have your kids just work on this right here, I tell you, they're going to take a lot of kids down because they're going to develop power, and because this guy is not ready to defend against that type of attack. He's saying, well, I'm in a good position. But if you look at this thing, I come here hard. I'm talking about really hard. Boom, right here, and you run him across that leg. Very hard to stop. All wrestlers want to go to the inside position. This is what you tell your wrestlers. Control the inside position. Right here. 5-inch carry, singles, whole bunch of things that you can hit from the inside positions. So it's important, I think, to teach your wrestlers how to deal with this so that they will win that situation pretty much every time they get in that position. So we work on this. Jeremy goes to the inside. We teach them how to clear the arms. We squeeze the elbows in, and we, just like with punching the forearms, we snap them down. Okay, again, he's on the inside, squeeze him in, we pop, right here. That works 100% of the time if you have the position and you do it right. But the key is to develop the power. Okay, now if Jeremy is in deep and he's wrapped around my shoulders, what I do is I push him back and squeeze my elbows in. Because if he's up on my shoulders, I can't do it. So you push him back, slide him up on your biceps. Right now from here, we pop. And what you're going to have is wrestlers inventing all different kinds of ways that you can, clear this out. They'll be pushing down on it. They'll be pushing out this way. And basically, you have to get them to punch the forearms. Boom! And punch with power, just like you're punching someone in a fight, like boxers. Boom, right here. And then what we do is we start working on technique. There, there, there. As soon as we clear them, we penetrate on a shot. But it's a very effective way to get him out of that inside position and dominate the tie. So from here, boom, we clear him out. We don't necessarily have to shoot every time. We just want to get him out of that position because he's in the best position to take good shots. So he's here, boom. Okay? Clear the arms out and take your shots. We talked about this one before. He's on the inside. You know, we do a lot of this. You have to aim. You come underneath, and we get to the side. You come underneath, pull it, move your feet, control the arm. Control the arm. And if your kids do this every day in the room, work on it 20 to 50 times, they'll get pretty good at it. Underneath, pulling forward, move your feet. Get yourself into a rushing position. Okay, now he's on the inside. We can also go back to the inside. You know, this is the one that most coaches work on anyway. But again, your head is a little bit lower than his head, and we go back to the inside. Go to the inside, Jimmy. Okay, right here. Now, what we're looking for is for him to rotate and create an opening for me as we fight for inside control. So I'm here, and I go here. I go here, Jeremy's coming back inside, boom. You time it, and you look for a shot. You know, once he starts to rotate, he's going to finish the rotation. And your wrestlers can just get in this position, and they can just kind of work on it and make them push into each other a little bit. Make it as real as possible, because otherwise they're not going to get a whole lot out of it. They're not going 100%. But a lot of times they'll be standing up here going like this. You know, kids at clinic just kind of putzing around with the hand. So make him push in a little bit. He goes inside. Now you know that he's going back inside. Boom. As he starts to rotate, we're looking to go in on a shot. Okay, so that's inside control. Again, we fight back to the inside. He goes inside, go inside, both hands. You can go rushing, move your feet, get to the outside. He goes inside. We forearm snap, clean him out. We're looking for shots. And I think if you talk about this, you know, every other day in the room, and you just drill it, it becomes automatic when the kids get into competition. This is very important. What happens when the opposition goes to your head? Virtually every competition that I attend, high school guys, and you guys have seen it, they hang on the head. All the time they hang on the head. They get in there and they hang on the head. And I was talking before about how important it is, if you get on the head, to do something with it. You know, pull it, shuck it, pull him out of position. Now, if the man goes to my head, we also need to know how to deal with it. And this is what we do. He goes to my head, okay, right here. You want to comment on this side. Okay, the first thing we like to do is go rush it. You might be able to tell we like this rushing thing. I think it's a great amount of control. So he goes to my head, I go here. Now, the problem with this a lot of times is kids will try to pull him around the rusher. And basically what you're doing here is you're rotating your shoulder. See, if I do this, I can almost get him off my head just by rotating. So that's important as far as getting into a rushing position. I go here, but as we do that, we go here and we move the feet. We move the feet. We try to get around to the side. Okay? Right here. Move the feet, get around to the side. So we like to go rushing and then we attack him when he tries to defend. More importantly, man goes to the head. We love to pass the elbow. And I think we have a unique way that we do it. You know, we spend a little time trying to figure out how to get a man off the head. And again, although we may not score, this works about 100% of the time if you can get the feel and figure out how to do this one. Elbow control tie, what we do is we shuck it down, and we like to chuck it down. As we shuck it down, we move the head out of the way, and we jump to the side. And what you're trying to do with your kids is to get them to coordinate, shucking it away. You move the head away, so that at one point, I've got about 200 pounds down on his elbow when you jump. I think it's important that you control the elbow tight right here. You get them to pull. See, I took the head out of the way. A lot of young wrestlers will do this. They'll go here, they'll go head outside and then back inside. That's a lot of wasted energy. What you want to try to do is be as efficient as possible when you take them off the head. So you go here. Now you leave your head towards the inside, and you got them to keep moving. Get them to keep moving with the head towards the inside, and then we're looking to attack that near leg. So again, you lock on either side of the elbow, okay, and you want to get them to lock tight. When they shove it down or pass the elbow, the head goes, looks away from it, boom, right on the leg. When we do that, we look for the leg immediately. The leg is going to be right there staring you in the face. The key is, and Jeremy will tell you, that I have a lot of pressure when I do this. Pretty much can pull them all the way down to the mat. But this is what you want to work on coordinating. As we pull, we jump. Okay? And this takes a little time. As we pull, we jump. Boom. Lead the head towards the inside. The other part of it is that when you attack this leg, okay, boom, we jump. This is the part that young wrestlers have a problem with. When we attack that near leg, they're going here and then here. They're going here and then here. Okay, as we pull it off, this comes back really quick. That inside hand comes back really quick and goes around the outside of the leg. It looks simple, but it's pretty difficult. And so what you do is you get your wrestlers to go here like this and just work on going to the leg. So we're here, and we go here, boom, right there. So back, boom, and around the leg. A good drill, you know, we call it hand fighting. And we do it almost every single day. It's one of the first things we do. You break a good sweat, work on your technique, you know, work on your drilling. I'll tell the guys, okay, attack him, high attacks only, but you got to get into, we'll just go past the hand fighting, okay? You try to get a Russian on me, okay? Pass it, yeah, there you go. Passive hand fighting. Now once he gets it, he's trying to attack a high single or whatever, and I'm trying the same thing. That's one. You know, I might go Russian, he runs around front. Oh, you ran the wrong way. I got an underhook. The other thing we do is we attack the head. So they're looking to do one of three things. Pull on his head, dig an underhook, or get to the side with the Russian. And we do that for sometimes 5 minutes straight. You break a heck of a sweat. And then what happens is they start getting pretty good at actually getting in that position right here, controlling it. And although Jeremy is fighting me, I'm figuring out ways that I can score on this guy from this position. But it's sort of like a situation wrestling thing that we do. You're working condition, you're working on your skills, and you're drilling at the same time. And it's been real good for us. We do the same thing with drags. What I tell them is to engage your partner. So we start wrestling, and I engage Jeremy. I'm looking for a drag. Boom. Okay, I'm looking for a drag. No matter how we tie, I'll say, grab the wrist, drag. Okay, we grab the wrist, inside, drag. He's doing the same thing. And the way you work on this is you do it for like 5 minutes at a time. I can't break my tie. Drag me, Jeremy. Come on. Okay, I got to stay engaged. Oh, we don't, drags only. There you go, good. And both men are actually looking for a drag, but it's going to help you see drags when you get into competition. And I tell the guys, if nothing's there, just grab a wrist. You know, because we can still do this. We can fake, drag, and attack. Okay, if Jeremy's on the inside, again, we can drag him from the outside. If he goes reverse grip, we can drag. So both men are fighting from that position. And I think it's just a really good way, you know, to work on your hand fighting and dominating the tie position.